Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ultimate debate. We have Elon Musk, the man who launched a car into space and thinks electric tunnels will fix LA traffic. And Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who invented Facebook, made people share their entire lives online and somehow convinced everyone that likes are the ultimate measure of self-worth.
Oh, Elon, you're adorable. You're the guy who thought it'd be a good idea to send a Tesla Roadster into space like it's the coolest thing ever. You've got a car floating in orbit with no one to drive it. Meanwhile, I created a platform where people post photos of their dinner and argue about political opinions. People love sharing everything about themselves, even things that shouldn't be shared.
But, Mark, you're the guy who built a website that turned everyone into a product. You literally convinced billions of people to post their entire lives online for free, while you sold their data to advertisers. Now that's some next level stupidity. Meanwhile, I'm trying to send people to Mars to avoid getting sucked into the endless scrolling of cat videos and status updates. At least my stupidity has a future.
Oh, I see what you're doing, Elon. You're trying to make space travel sound smart, but it's still just you sending cars into space. You're literally launching your luxury vehicle into the unknown like it's a personal achievement. Meanwhile, I took a platform and turned it into a global digital world.
You might have me there, but let's not forget, I'm the guy who started a car company and then decided, let's make electric cars the coolest thing ever. Except, oh yeah, I forgot to make them affordable for the average person. Anyway, you can't drive a car in space.
Okay, but let's talk about your Twitter, Elon. You, the guy who tweets random thoughts that could send the entire stock market into a frenzy. One tweet about funding secured, and boom, the price of Tesla stock goes haywire. That's like walking around with a bomb strapped to your back and hoping it won't explode. If that's not stupid, I don't know what it is.
But at least I don't have a thumbs up button that gives people anxiety. Like, do you know how many times I've seen someone freak out because their post didn't get enough likes? You made a literal currency out of validation. If you want to talk about creating social anxiety, I'll point directly at you, Mark.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I created a platform where you get to argue with your entire family about what's happening in the world. You made a thing called The Boring Company. Not only does it make boring tunnels, but you're selling literal flamethrowers to the public. That's pretty much the textbook definition of stupid.
I'll give you that one, Mark. But let's not forget your metaverse. You're trying to convince people to live in a virtual world that's pretending to be the real world, all while we're still trying to fix things like basic reality. People are out here struggling with actual problems, and you're out here saying, hey, let's put on these goggles and pretend we're not in a climate crisis.
But hey, at least when I'm pretending to create a new reality, I'm not spending my time creating hyperloops under Los Angeles, trying to fix traffic with futuristic tunnels while the rest of the world is just stuck in the present. I think your brand of stupid might take the cake.
All right, Mark, let's be real. Who else would think it's a good idea to create a system that suggests you friend your mom's friend's cousin's dog's profile? That's not connecting people. That's just causing family drama. I mean, your algorithms, that's just the kind of stupid I'm talking about.
Oh, Elon, don't even try to take that high ground. You're the one who decided hyperloop tunnels under cities would be cool, except you made them underground. Let me break it to you. We've already been doing underground transportation for centuries. It's called subways, Elon. It's called subways, Elon. You are the guy who started an entire company called Tesla to sell cars that run on batteries, and then said, you know what's even better? Let's make it self-driving so people can nap on the road. Elon, do you even realize how stupid it is to tell people you don't need to drive, just relax? It's like you're saying, let's all play Russian roulette with autopilot.
At least I've never tried to make virtual reality the new reality. Like you, of course. The metaverse? Really?
Well, let's be fair. You took it a step further with your Neuralink idea. You're trying to get people to implant chips in their brains. I mean, you're out here saying, hey, let's just put Wi-Fi directly in our heads. You're trying to turn us into walking routers. And it's almost like you're trying to prove that all of humanity has one collective stupid idea. What could go wrong with that?
Hey, it's all about improving humanity, Mark. At least when I suggest turning people into walking routers, I'm trying to fix communication on a global scale. But you just wanted to make sure that we can endlessly scroll through memes and look at ads for things we definitely don't need at all. Except your stupidity. You know, Mark, I'm honestly amazed that you still think the metaverse is the future. You've literally built an online dream world where everyone forgets to charge their VR headset, so they can't even escape the real world.
Oh, really, Elon? Really?
Let's be honest, Facebook is basically a place where people get into arguments with strangers about whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich.
You're literally telling me that sending people to space is a better idea? Like, that's the future. You're the man who sent a car into orbit and thought, hey, that's good for publicity. What's next? Send a smart fridge into space just so people can say, wow, that's cool. You're using rockets like they're just Uber rides to Mars.
All right, Mark, you're really going to sit here and tell me that your metaverse is the future? You're basically trying to convince people that their avatars can live better lives than their real selves, and that it's totally okay to wear a headset for 8 hours a day. I can already picture it. Congratulations, you've spent all day walking around a digital mall. Don't forget to buy a virtual sandwich. Meanwhile, I'm out here building rockets that can land themselves just to prove we can do the impossible. Which is stupider? Virtual sandwiches or literally defying gravity?
Please, Elon. You're out here sending cars into space while people on Earth can't even agree on whether pineapple belongs on pizza. You sent a Tesla Roadster to space, onto nowhere, like it was a publicity stunt for your car. You could have been fixing global issues, but instead you decided to launch a luxury car into the cosmos, like a guy who thinks he's on an episode of Pimp My Ride Mars edition.
Well, at least I'm not the guy who invented Facebook Marketplace, a place where people try to sell stuff that nobody wants. I don't know what's stupider, trying to get people to buy a used bicycle from someone who hasn't ridden it in years, or trying to sell people stuff they don't need.
That's rich, coming from the guy who built a company where the slogan is, let's make life multiplanetary, but your cars cost more than most homeless homes. You're telling people to shoot for the stars while you're out here making the price of one Tesla as expensive as a college education. At least I'm only selling attention on Facebook. Only attention.
I'm selling the future, Mark. You're selling addiction. You're turning people into social zombies, and I'm turning the world into a launch pad.
Yeah, well, at least I'm not using rockets to make a cool statement. I'm trying to build connections between people. You're trying to build a future where only the richest people can afford to get to Mars, like you and me again. Talk about a social divide. You're just like, hey, why bother fixing Earth when I can just leave it? You're like the billionaire equivalent of a guy who literally builds his own island.
It's not about abandoning Earth, Mark. It's about saving it. If Earth ends up becoming uninhabitable, we need a backup plan. Meanwhile, you're still dealing with people complaining about their internet connection while scrolling through the same memes for 5 hours straight. Sure, people need social connection, but they also need to figure out how to put their phones down and look up once in a while at my vision to colonize Mars.
Really, Elon?
You know, Mark, I've been thinking, you've created the ultimate platform for people to complain about everything. Honestly, Facebook is like a giant global grudge board. And let's not forget the boomerang. You know what I'm talking about, right? People posting pictures of food in a loop like it's the most revolutionary thing ever. Honestly, this is what you're investing in.
You're out here launching cars into space while Earth is still stuck in traffic. You do realize people actually use Facebook to connect, right? Not just to argue about pineapple on pizza. You think your Teslas are saving the world, but all I see are cars that need to stop and reboot because the software decided to go on vacation.
Talking about vacation, you're literally sending people on a virtual vacation from their own lives in exchange for a piece of digital land that they can never actually step on.
You know, Elon, I'm really glad, but how are you going to recycle all those batteries when the cars get old? You're over here on your Mars mission while people can't even figure out how to properly recycle a plastic bottle in their backyard.
Oh, I see. You want me to fix Earth's problems, but you're over here convincing people to spend hundreds of dollars on virtual shoes in a virtual world. You're pushing people to believe that virtual luxury is worth their real money.
At least I'm not launching a $500,000 roadster into space just so I can say, hey, look, I'm Elon Musk and I can afford to put a car in space. What's your next big idea, Elon? A space hotel for billionaires, Hyperloop in the solar system?
You're really going to lecture me about being out of touch with reality when you created a social network that allows people to spend entire afternoons scrolling through pointless posts like, what's your spirit animal?
Look, Elon, at least my empire doesn't require sending people to space to escape the failures of this planet. You're sitting on a rocket ship like some kind of space cowboy without a pony.
What the hell? I'll go ahead and take the win here. I mean, who else decides to make a flamethrower just because it's funny? I created the Boring Company, where I literally built a company based on something that's inherently boring. Then I thought, why not dig tunnels under LA to fix traffic? That's got to be the definition of stupid. But hey, at least I'm sending people to Mars, where I'll hopefully never have to see traffic again.
And with that, we've reached the end of the round. It looks like both Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are equally guilty of making incredibly stupid decisions, but in the end, they're still shaping the future. So maybe their stupidity isn't so stupid after all.